So, could you talk to us about this design challenge? How long has it been going on at BC, and what exactly is it about?
So the Engineers Club has hosted a design challenge on campus for over 20 years. Uh, Usually what happens is the Engineers Club will come up with a design challenge, rules, regulations, set of parameters that the people must design within. And the purpose of the design challenge is to inspire students, professionals, local organizations, people not necessarily involved with engineering, to get involved in engineering because it touches so many of our lives in everything we do every day. So traditionally every spring we've held this design challenge where we publish the rules usually in December, send them out to the local high schools and middle schools, and then many of the professional organizations, and invite people to come and show what they've designed on their own in a pre-build sort of a situation. It's a great way to get the community involved in a hands-on design challenge that inspires engineering thought and promotes our discipline.
So, what was your turnout like?
For this year, the turnout was fairly modest. I think we had 18 people enter the competition. We had 3 entrants from the junior high schools. In fact, one of the junior highs he was only a 4th grader. And we had high school, a couple of college entrants, and then 2 people in the professional division. Professional just being people who have graduated from university in this case. And the youngest age was about 8 years old, and the oldest age was probably in his 50s. I don't know how old Richard is, but we had a great turnout for the difficulty of this challenge. It was a difficult challenge. In years past, we've had as many as 100 to 125 people enter depending on the challenge. Some are more exciting to people than others.
So, tell me a little more about the challenge itself.
So this year the design challenge was to design and build a car that was powered by a very small spring. The spring was about 4 inches long, 7/8 inch in diameter, and the purpose was to design a car that would carry a variable load, a variable distance. So it wasn't like preset before they got, to the competition. The day of the competition, they brought their car, and we gave them the amount of load that it was going to have to carry, which ended up being 100 grams of sand, and it had to go 11 meters exactly. But like I said beforehand, they just knew that it was going to be between 0 and 250 grams of sand and between 10 and 20 meters. So they really had to design their car so that it would fall within those parameters. And everybody did a pretty good job. When you've got a very small spring like that, but it's got to go a long distance, they had to consider things like mechanical advantage and levers and gears and that type of thing in order to make that power that's in the spring stretch out over a long distance.
So, earlier you mentioned that the youngest kid was a 4th grader. So, how do they get involved? Their parents or a sibling?
Yeah, the younger kids usually get involved because they've got an older sibling, and that was the case in this. With the youngest kid, his older brother is an Engineers Club student, and so he was involved. So he said, "I want to do it too." So they did it together. It was really pretty cool. Each one of them had their own designs, and actually the younger kids' design did better than the college students' design, which is often the way it happens. College students tend to overthink things and make them a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And then we always have a fair amount of middle school students who, their parents are involved or have heard about it in the past and get them involved as well. This year, we're going to be doing Design Challenge twice a year from starting now. We decided that we'll do a civil challenge in the fall. Civil would be bridges, roads, waterworks, all those kinds of things. And then in the spring, we'll have our mechanical challenge, where we'll do, it's a car or a boat or something where it's got it usually has more of a mechanical component. But I think that we'll be able to pull in different communities. Of course, the ASCE is perfect for the civil challenge. And then in the spring, we're really going to try to target either the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, or SAE, or somebody to come in and partner with us. We're also going to start working with Amber Chang and some of the other people in our area to get more visibility and more coverage to just bring the excitement level up.
Well, hopefully this helps.
I hope so, definitely.
Would you say it's important for younger kids to get involved in these types of things if they think they might be interested in engineering?
Definitely. You know, most people don't know what engineering is. It's a mystery. They know that engineers, it's a prestigious occupation, profession, that engineers make a lot of money. But if you ask an engineer, what do you do, or what does an engineer do, they don't know. You know, it's one of those mysteries. But engineers basically do everything with everything. I tell my students, if you can see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, hear it, it's been engineered by somebody somewhere along the line. So if a student is interested in, of course, machines and that type of thing, that's of course a natural for engineering. But even if they're interested in music or sports or clothing or anything, all of those items have engineers involved with whatever it is, and it's a great way to make the products that we like even better. And so by raising awareness just of engineering and having the contact between the professionals and the students, we're going to end up with better engineers, better scientists, better products.
So you mentioned earlier that you were going to have a second design challenge.
Yeah. So we haven't set a date for the next design challenge. We know it's going to be in the fall. It will likely be in that window of early November. Because if you get too late, like in November, we end up with holidays, and then after November, we've got final exams and that kind of thing. It's hard to nail that down. So it's likely going to be early November, the first or second week of November. We will be publishing the rules for our Civil Design Challenge before we leave for summer, and it'll have a date set in stone of when it'll be and where the competition will be.